Okay, so we've all heard about Kim Kardashian and Kanye West getting a divorce, and I'll read you the article before I begin on what I have to say. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West reportedly have no bad blood between them, but their marriage did get downright toxic. Despite no actual paperwork being filed or official announcement being made to the press confirming the divorce, that hasn't stopped a whole lot of sources surrounding Kim Kardashian and Kanye West from dishing to the press about exactly what went wrong with their marriage. So far, there's been no information from the two central figures involved since the news first broke last week, but there has been an endless supply of anonymous intel. A source told Us Weekly on Friday that the couple has been keeping their distance from each other for the sake of their four children. Kim and Kanye had no option but to live apart in the end because the communication between them had gotten so downright toxic. An outsider has told the outlet they went into the latter part of 2020 with the very best of intentions and wanted to find a way to get along when they spent time together. But it reached the point where the bickering turned to nasty blow-ups and confrontation, and since neither of them wanted the kids exposed to this type of hostility, they stayed apart. Kanye has reportedly been living primarily at the family's Wyoming ranch, while Kim stays with the kids at their Hidden Hills, California mansion. While she hasn't even begun the formal process of legally ending her marriage, Kim is apparently already ready to move on, a source told E! News. With the final season of Keeping Up with the Kardashian behind her and drama over her impending divorce starting to settle, Kim wants to feel at peace going into this new chapter of her life and is focused on herself and her children. If you notice, the reality star has started clocking more hours at the gym and in Bible study, that apparently all part of her plan to feel strong mentally and physically, the source added. She has been very busy with her business, and which has been a blessing. She's really focusing on the kids and their happiness as well. Naturally, Kim has the total support of our family. All the sisters are aware of the situation and are very supportive, the source said. They all love Kanye like a brother, but agree it's best for them to part ways. And Kim and Kanye have apparently made peace with the situation. A source reported that they have no bad blood and they are very cordial. He's focusing on his world, and she's focusing on her world. Okay. Well, I see this as a blessing. Those of you who understand the law about, God's law about divorce and remarriage and how you cannot remarry unless your first spouse dies. Now, Kim has been married before. Okay, this is Kanye's first time being married to somebody, even though it's not marriage in the eyes of God. He has an out. All right, this is the out. Since he says he's a Christian, I do think that God is working on the fact that moving this situation behind him. Since in God's eyes, this is not a marriage. Okay, according to Romans chapter 7, you cannot remarry unless your spouse dies. Okay, that's just basically it. And people will say, well, what about forgiveness? And God is full of grace. Grace is the power to overcome sin. It's not a license to sin. Okay. You can look that up about the grace of God and, not being a license to sin. Jesus said in the Bible that anybody who marries a divorced person commits adultery. All right. That's basically it. And it says about except to be for fornication. And so see right there, you could get a divorce. No, fornication is when you have sex with somebody that neither of you are married. That's fornication. Fornication is premarital sex. Okay. All right. I mean, what Jesus was talking about in those days, a Jewish couple, if they wanted to get, engaged, they would have to take on the title of husband and wife. And if they wanted to get a divorce, I'm sorry, if they wanted to break up, they would have to get a literal divorce certificate. Okay, that's how it went down in those days. It was called the betrothal period in the Jewish custom. Now, the thing is like when people say, "Oh, well, you could get you could just end the marriage because someone cheated," right? No, the marriage still goes on. Otherwise, it wouldn't say. Jesus would have said, if someone marries a divorced person, commits adultery. And also, the disciples said, if it's such be the case, it's better not to marry. All right. That's just how it is. And a lot of people are going to get mad at that, but you got to look at these scriptures seriously. And a lot of people are going to get mad and upset, and because they're in their feelings, okay. And they'll say, "Well, look at Kanye West. Look at how the way he acts and stuff like that." Anybody with divorce, look. The fact of it, if someone wants to marry him, they'd have to know that up front. All right. But still, it doesn't matter if the person has a mental illness or anything like that. Now, people talk about, what about abuse? Well, you can separate in abuse. All right. You can separate, but you're still married. Now, as for Kanye and Kim, they're not married in the eyes of God. Okay. It's adultery, and that's their way out. Kim could go her way. Kanye could go his way. All right. And a lot of people not going to like that scripture, especially people who, who say they're, not really Christian. And they want to just, they just want to do what they want to do. Life is hard, but the reality is this, okay? You got to be honest with yourself. And you can't expect others who see the scripture and just keep their mouths shut. All right? Now, Kanye says he's a Christian. All right? And I wish him the best. I wish him the best. Okay? He may really have that. He may really, have made that commitment, in his heart. Hopefully he'll get baptized. I don't know if he got baptized. If he did, great. But I see this as a way of God working in his life to remove something that, if he would stay in it, right, it would cost him his soul. He would end up in hell. All right. Now I'll just find the scripture where it says, in Matthew 19, it says, in Matthew 19, verse 10, it says, the disciples say unto him, if such be the case, so it was with a wife, it's not good to marry. Okay. You read the whole chapter of Matthew 19, okay? But that right there, it shows that marriage is binding until death. So Kim is still with her first spouse in the eyes of God, as well as everybody else. If you have a first spouse still living, you're in adultery if you remarry. Okay. And that's just it. But I really hope the best for him. I really do. Okay, the man has a lot, to battle with. And I hope he's able to rely on God, because the devil is going to mess with him hard. Okay? He'll have so-called friends that will say things that are not positive in his ear, because the devil will use them. He'll have people he'll deem as family try to say things that will they'll try to break him down. But this is basically the right thing. The road's not comfortable, all right? It's not. Very few people actually will make it to the end. Most people, when they die, they go down. They don't go up, they go down. They go down to hell. And this situation right here has taken many people to hell. Here's some scriptures to read. Romans chapter 7, verse 1. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 27. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 39. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 10, 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 1, Mark chapter 10, verses 1 to 12, Matthew chapter 19, verse 1 to 9, Matthew chapter 1, verses 18 to 19, Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4. If you want to read more about this, if you're interested. And people who, really don't like this, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's a hard road, man. It really is. But this is the reality. The man gave up everything, dies on the cross, resurrects on the third day, gave up everything he could have had. He could have had numerous women, or armies over armies, or armies over armies, riches upon riches on this earth. But he chose to give that up to represent what God wanted, his Father wanted. And you think, and Christians think that when he died and resurrected, that there's no commandments laid on your life if you choose to follow him, if you choose to be born again. Nothing in life is free, especially being in right standing with God. Hard road. It's a hard road. All right, that's all I got to say on it.